Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Africa 24 for a new edition of your program Décryptage, which focuses on actors promoting Africa's development. Doing business on the continent is no easy task. The obstacles are of various kinds: unfavorable business environment, cumbersome administrative formalities, and a difficult political context. However, this climate does not discourage entrepreneurs. On the contrary, thanks to leaders who have paved the way, Africans are determined to make a difference. Thanks to this icon, over 18,000 African entrepreneurs have been trained and empowered in 13 years. The Tony Elumelu Foundation, based in Lagos, Nigeria, is an incubator of young talent with programs offered in 4 languages: English, French, Arabic, and Portuguese. These are inspired by Africapitalism, the economic vision developed by its founder. Today, we welcome one of Africa's greatest captains of industry, Tony Elumelu, chairman of Heirs Holdings and United Bank of Africa. Mr. Elumelu, welcome to Africa 24.
Thank you.
You took part in the 2023 edition of the Future Investment Initiative, an event dedicated to global economic transformations, opportunities, and challenges. From an African perspective, what are the global challenges entrepreneurs encounter today?
I'm happy to be in Saudi Arabia for the 2023 FIL Summit. It's been wonderful interacting with fellow world leaders here and discussing issues that affect all of us in the world, but more importantly, issues about Africa. As you know, I'm an African, very proud of my heritage as an African. I've worked all my life in Africa. I've invested across countries in Africa in business, but more importantly, in young African entrepreneurs of 54 African countries. So coming here and getting the opportunity to speak about my passion of empowering young African entrepreneurs was wonderful for me. To me, that was the high point of my meeting in Saudi Arabia. It was nice to discuss Africapitalism, a concept philosophy that guides what we do at Heirs Holdings Group, at United Bank for Africa Group, a concept that we believe holds the future to Africa's economic development and transformation, economic inclusiveness, and the empowerment of our young ones. That is why we do what we do at the Tony Elumelu Foundation. We believe that prioritizing our young ones, supporting them, giving them economic opportunity and hope, enabling them, creating networking opportunity for them is wonderful for the development of our continent. So it's been a wonderful opportunity and time here interacting with global leaders and seeing how we can all team efforts up together in helping to develop our young ones.
You are a role model, a source of inspiration for many African entrepreneurs. What is the secret of your success?
Well, it's good to know that I'm a role model for African youth. But at the same time, it's also a burden. I like to be a role model, and I want God to give me the strength and the resources to continue to play that role in the lives of young Africans. Because I, Tony Elumelu, and the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and in fact, all our businesses from United Bank for Africa to Transcorp to Heirs Insurance, we believe so much in the power of our young ones. We think the future of our continent belongs to them. And it gives us joy. It gives us a sense of satisfaction that I can't even explain here, to see young Africans look up to us. And so it's a burden because we have so much to do to support these young Africans, so much to do to prioritize them. If you look at what we do at the Tony Elumelu Foundation, we have been able to empower 18,500 young African entrepreneurs, each of them with non-refundable seed capital of $5,000. But it's a drop of water in the ocean. A drop because every year we get over 300,000 applications and we are not able to support more than the number of shares because of limited resources. So it's good that they look up to us, but it's a burden. And that is again one of the reasons I'm here, preaching the gospel, telling my contemporaries, telling world leaders that we must look in Africa to support the young ones. Because if we support them, will create more prosperity for all of us in Africa and outside Africa.
The Tony Elumelu Foundation was created to give women and men on the continent the means to act and accelerate the continent's economic growth. Your foundation shows that you have unwavering confidence in African youth. How do you get all these young people to believe in themselves?
You know, every year the Tony Elumelu Foundation, it's like a machine, and I must use this opportunity to commend the CEO, Somachi, and her wonderful team for what they do, and also the prior CEOs of the foundation. We create awareness. We get young Africans to apply every year. And as I said earlier, over 400,000 young Africans apply for the program. And we screen them. At the end of the day, we train, and then we select 1,000 that gets a non-refundable seed capital of $5,000 each. And this is from the $100 million commitment that my wife and I put in to help support young African entrepreneurs. It's been difficult, you know, scaling up, because we want to do more. And fortunately, we now have global partners like European Commission, like UNDP, like International Red Cross, like GEZ, like African Development Bank, Indorama, and hosts of them, Google also, teaming up with us to touch more lives in Africa. And to me, and this is the message I've been preaching here, this is the biggest and greatest and most impactful form of investment you can do on the African continent. Investing in our young ones, investing, giving them economic hope and opportunity, empowering them, letting them believe in themselves. That is what will help us develop Africa in the 21st century. I have seen it firsthand. We just launched the TEF Impact Report. And from the Impact Report, what I saw is mind-blowing, the number of jobs that have been created across Africa by these entrepreneurs that we have funded. That is how we can develop Africa, empowering our young ones, making them believe in themselves, creating opportunities for them. That is what will help us spread prosperity on the continent. And it's so important and nice that we don't support people in just one country. We support in all 54 African countries. And we support males and females. And they are justifying the confidence we have in them by making sure that their businesses succeed, which is very good.
Many Cameroonian entrepreneurs have benefited from the Tony Elumelu Foundation training program, which is held yearly. According to you, what are the things that will make these entrepreneurs succeed?
We need consistency in their business. We need discipline. We need hard work. I want the young African entrepreneur to remember that you have to save, you have to make sacrifices, you have to stay disciplined, you have to work hard to succeed. You don't have to cut corners. You just remember that business is about long-term, it's a long-term game, and it's usually not very linear. But remain resilient, remain hungry, and again, disciplined and hardworking, and you succeed. However, our governments must play their own role. Government must help create an enabling environment so that these our young ones succeed beyond our expectations. We want them to succeed. I want our government to remember that the successes of these young Africans translate to success for all Africans. They will help us create jobs that we need. Small, medium-scale enterprises will rise and spring from these young ones. That is why my wife and I committed $100 million. It's not out of the excess or abundance of wealth. It's just that we thought in the 25 we need to help democratize luck. We need to create economic opportunities for everyone. We need to see ourselves, our youth, in the young Africans and support them. That is what will bring the kind of inclusive growth we want to see in Africa. That is what we must do to get our women economically empowered. That's what we must do to address and arrest extremism. And that's what we have to do as the global world, to make sure that migration of our young ones in harsh conditions out of Africa stops. And that is what will give all of us peace everywhere, because poverty anywhere is a threat to all of us everywhere.
Your name and brand are associated with the expression Afri-capitalism, an economic philosophy you invented. Can you tell us more about it?
Afri-capitalism is what my colleagues and I came up with. We propounded based on our experience, growing up in Africa, working in Africa, earning a living in Africa, investing in Africa, that the private sector can play a role in the 21st century helping to develop Africa. And that we can do that by investing in critical sectors of the African economy that helps to catalyze economic growth, that helps to catalyze prosperity, that helps to drive inclusive growth, that helps to bring our women to the economic activities of the continent. And that is what we think, how we think everyone should be investing. We should invest with that consciousness that it's not just about profitability, it is about impact, it is about legacy, it is about the life we touch, the life we improve, and how we collectively are able to transform Africa. Thank you very much.
Mr. Elumelu, thank you very much for answering Africa 24's questions. This program is coming to an end, but you can continue to follow the news on Africa 24 English.